Michael, congratulations on being elected the 37th Irish Hotels Federation President earlier this year. It's a 2-year term. What are your main objectives?
Well, I suppose number one, it's a great honour to be able to represent my peers in our industry all over the country. And we have 800 hoteliers, 800 hotels and 200 guesthouses, and I'm there to represent the day-to-day kind of issues that every one of those entrepreneurs and operators are going to have over the next 2 years. And I'm delighted that I've been honoured with this commitment. I'm going to work, I suppose, mainly we have to try and retain our 9% VAT rate and learn and develop stories and aspects that will help retain that for the industry. I'm going to work on the whole area of, I suppose a pet interest I have is sustainability, so this whole area of getting our businesses more environmentally friendly is very, very important.
Yes, yeah.
I think also we have to look at the whole area of employment and making sure that we're perceived to parents and to future employees, young people that are in schools and colleges, that we're a career of choice, and that people can develop. They say that we're all going to have 27 different careers going forward now, so hopefully tourism and hotel keeping will be part of it.
And you're a fifth generation hotelier yourself, and you own and run the very successful Westport Woods Hotel. How is the hotel sector doing at the moment? Because we know Irish tourism is doing well. I presume the hotel sector is also thriving. Is it a Dublin phenomenon? Is it across the country as a whole? How do you see it amongst your members?
Well, the hotel business has had a very, very good run over the last 5-6 years, since 2012 onwards. It's following the pattern of what's happened in Ireland generally. The tourism is growing, the economy is growing, so people are spending more money. So we're in a good place at the moment.
Yeah.
We do have capacity issues in Dublin. We don't have enough hotel bedrooms. Someone was telling me here yesterday evening that we've less rooms than Edinburgh. And Edinburgh seems to be full more so than Dublin. So we have to work on that and build more rooms. We have to get our planners and policy decision makers really focused on probably putting in higher buildings and being a little bit innovative in regard to parking and all the other issues, transport, that will help get more hotel bedrooms and more room stock in Dublin.
Yeah, exactly. And there is movement in Dublin now after years of static reply, and even here in Cork, we're in the beautiful Montenotte Hotel. We were at an ITIC function earlier, and there's 3 or 4 Cork hotels opening or being constructed in the next few years. So there's progress in terms of supply catching up with the demand.
I think the latter are doing good work. They're opening a new hotel in Maldron. Their brand is opening a hotel in Dublin. The Hyatt are coming in there, I think, opposite.
Yeah. And you mentioned the tourism VAT rate at 9%. It is a key component, I think, of the sector's growth. We have a budget coming up, obviously, in the autumn. There's going to be a lot of sort of debate and conversation around it. How important is it, do you feel, and do you think we'll hang on to it for another year?
Yeah, I think we will hang on to it. I think the government are very pro business. They're pro. They have seen that this has been a big help to employ more people over the last 6 or 7 years. For the length of time it's been there. It also is bringing us in line with our European competition. There's VAT rates lower than ours. We'd have it lower, but we'll be happy to keep the 9%. I think that 9% has helped business become more profitable, and they're reinvesting that into, particularly down the country, the smaller hotel, family hotel. They have a couple of extra bob in profitability, and they're putting it back into carpets and bedrooms and function rooms
and hotels need that. They need to be refreshed all the time.
It's constantly being used by people, and we constantly have to show our best image. Put the best foot forward.
Absolutely. And you mentioned employment and the amount of people in the sector. I think about 230,000 people work within tourism at the moment. But there are challenges, aren't there, to recruit the people that we need to work in our sector, both, I suppose, a perception of tourism, but also just numbers. Are there adequate number of skilled, trained people out there to support us?
There aren't enough skilled, trained people, and the IHF with the Restaurants Association have taken on initiative with the apprentice chef scheme, and we have 120 spaces available there with the ETBs scattered around the country. So we're really trying to get our industry to support young individuals that have a little bit of experience in the kitchen or restaurant, and bring them into the kitchen and train them correctly. And I think that's a great start. There's a Commis Chef de Partie programme that's going to be launched next September, and there's a raft of other training initiatives. The other initiative I think I have to compliment is Fáilte Ireland and this whole area of service excellence. And in my own hometown, Westport, we're going to be the first town in Ireland to have over 75% of our front-facing people trained in that. And it's a simple enough initiative. It's going to be online in the next couple of months, but I think that needs to be taken on board by resorts and towns all over the country.
Yeah, it should be rolled out nationally.
It will definitely show that the 9% VAT is being put back into the industry.
Absolutely. The IHF helped put together the recent ITIC strategy for growth to 2025, and that envisages that tourism can continue growing strongly, but only if the right sort of policies are put in place by government. We've talked before about competitiveness and investment. They're key areas, aren't they, that the government has to get right to allow the tourism sector to thrive?
Well, it was a very good document. It's showing that tourism is a very, very successful business already. 230,000 people employed, and if we want to achieve some of the outcomes in that area, we definitely have to try and make sure government ministers, government policy, and the government focus, and it has to look at the next 5-10 years. It can't be short term.
Absolutely, medium to long term.
And that if we want to get to 310,000 that people employed, that's going to be important, and to get the revenues coming from international markets. And I think there's a couple of good points that have been mentioned there. I think the Minister for Tourism should be the Minister for Tourism. You know, being split into other sectors takes a little bit of the focus off of that area. And there's been some great ministers for tourism, but if they're concentrating on roads and transport and everything else, which does dovetail a little bit with tourism, but I think it takes some of the focus off, particularly when we're industry leaders and we want to get their ear. It can be hard. So they have to know and have to be around that table making decisions at the highest level, and making sure the actions that the 56 actions that you have in your own document, that they're really pushing on that. Yeah,
absolutely, and implementing them.
The other area there, and we mentioned it earlier, was Professor Jim Deegan in UL, and his idea, he talked to me recently about the whole satellite account.
Yes.
And I think that's very important, because I don't think even our figures and our big data, CSO figures, Fáilte Ireland figures, Tourism Ireland figures, they all have a blandness, really, because I don't think they take in the whole picture of employment, of the value to tourism to this nation, and the economies, the budget, and maybe not the budget, but the balance of payments.
Yes, and tourism satellite accounts are in other countries and work very effectively in other countries, so there's no reason it couldn't be replicated here in Ireland.
And that's another aspect of tourism, that we need people with economists and big data people and good data, and we need the professional people that understand that. And another aspect of the hotel business that I think we're weak at, we could really get much better in that area, and the satellite account could drive a lot of that.
Absolutely. Great. Well, Michael, you've got a full schedule of objectives for the next 2 years, or the next 18 months, or whatever's left for your term. We wish you every success and thank the IHF for their contribution to Irish tourism.
I'd like to thank ITIC and all the help you're giving us, and we'll support you any way we can.
Thank you, Michael.
Thank you.